this to me is like the creepiest, most Orwellian thing ever. But and I don't think we got into this too much on the last show with Scott, but we mentioned it. But you know what Twitter does is they go, if you delete the tweet in question, you can come back on. Which is such a weird thing to do. It's not like, oh, we deleted that tweet because we didn't like it. It's like, you go click delete right now. You submit. All you have to do is tell me that the emperor has clothes, and then you can come back into this little circle. Anyway, so Scott was like, you know, he's Scott Horton. For all you guys who listen to this show, I'm sure you've gotten a little bit of a taste for Scott's personality. So they're like, Scott, delete that tweet and you can come back. And Scott's like, suck my dick, Twitter. Because Scott's just not going to do that, which I love about him. I love it's the same thing as like when that dummy Nick Sarwark was like, you have to sign a letter that says you're against fascism. And he's like, fuck you. You know, not Tom's words, but my words. But more or less that was the sentiment of what Tom said was he was like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing it. And so Scott just, and then Twitter sent him a note or an email or some shit, and they were like, oh, we've reviewed it and it looks like we made a mistake, and just reinstated his account. Boom.
I was reading, I think in Dan O'Reilly, some Jew guy's book, Predictably Irrational, but he was talking about cognitive dissonance, and that I think in China they used to basically make like soldiers sign documents of like some sort of fault, and then once they did that, they would just spill the beans on everything. It's like a weird little mind trick. They do that at colleges now sometimes, where like they make like, I don't know to what extent, I don't quite remember, but like if you're white, you got to sign or that like you acknowledge your white privilege or like that kind of bullshit. Yeah. But the whole thing about that is once like you kind of put name to paper that you agree with something, you start acting in a way consistent with what you've just put your name on. That's what Twitter's trying to do with that move, where it's like, you got to understand we're in charge here, and you got to buy into the fact that we have authority over you and that this is inappropriate. They're trying to make you buy into the fact that it's inappropriate.
Yes, and there's something about you conceding that point that just breaks you of your own independent thinking, you know? Like there's something to that. I mean, I think that's a really great point, but as you said, it was written by a Jew, so it's probably a trick. Yeah. But I would take that very seriously. No, we were talking about this.
Filtered through my memery.
Yeah, this is like Jew squared over here. I can't take any more of that. But no, there's something to that. I remember me and Owen Benjamin were talking about this one time when he was on the show. I can't remember what time. Maybe it was his show or what. I don't know. But it was on a podcast and we were talking about it. But talking about the thing with the transgender stuff, where like there's something about you just acknowledging something that you know to be bullshit and pretending it's true. Like you're just like, oh no, that is a woman now, right? That's a man who just decided he's a woman. That's a woman now, right? And you go, yeah, that's a woman. It's like, it could be as simple as like, there's 4 chairs in a room, and they go, there's 3 chairs in that room, right? And you go, yeah, there's 3 chairs in that room. And it's almost like nothing else even matters, because they know that you are willing to like give up your integrity. You're like, no, I will agree that something that I know is bullshit is true. And that's the thing where it's like, nobody is ever like, I'm not for being a dick to people. And honestly, if someone like wants to be called I'll kind of call someone what they want to be called. But if we're just having a fucking conversation about what truth is, if we're having an intellectual conversation, it's like, well, no, being a man is having an XY chromosome and being a woman is having an XX chromosome. And I don't care what you claim to be. You can't just claim away reality. Like that's just not, we need to be able to acknowledge what truth is, what evidence is. And you know, it's a real tactic of authoritarians that they want to get you to fucking, like they want to prove that you will say what you're told to say, that you will not veer outside of what is like socially approved opinions.
It's a mind fuck.
That's right.